Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Returning Home podcast, hosted by yours truly, Liem. And in today's episode, we're going to be diving deep into the topics of Indigo Children, the Crystal Children, Rainbow Children. Who are they? And what are they here to do? How do they relate to the times that we're living in right now, where our earth is moving through a shift? Are they here to assist us? And if so, how? Are you one? Or are you maybe raising one? If that's something that you love to learn more about, then this episode is going to blow your mind. Without further ado, let's hop right in today's episode. So earlier in my spiritual awakening process, I stumbled across the term Indigo Children. And then I also heard about crystalline children, or the crystalline energy. Now, what does this mean? Because, I think we live in a world where we all want to feel like we belong, we stand out, we're accepted, we're safe. And often, because we often don't feel safe, or we haven't experienced unconditional love while growing up, our ego loves to be special. Our ego loves to be named a certain thing, because then it thinks that it gets more attention, more love, more nurture. So that's one thing that I want to say before we're going to dive in today's episode. In this episode, I am both speculating and both speaking from research and the things that I personally resonate with. So if this doesn't resonate with you, I want to say that then this message is not for you at this time. If this does resonate with you, then it means that for you, it means that this is some truth. So with that having said, I want to dive into what are Indigo Children. Well, a lot of people have been speaking about Indigo Children, and I think of those three, of the Indigo Children, the Crystal Children, the Rainbow Children, the Indigo Children are the ones who are mostly discussed because they've been around for a longer period of time. So what I've read about the Indigo Children is that they've come to the planet to assist after the world had been going through war. So think about World War I and II. And some people say that they came to planet Earth in around the 1970s. And, it's good to have kind of years that this happened, but I don't want you to pin yourself to certain years. It's just to give you kind of an overview of, okay, this is around this time, this is when this happened, or around this time, this is when this happened. These are not absolute numbers. So the Indigo Children, they came to planet Earth around the 1970s, after the baby boom generation, to assist in the shift, to prepare the world for the awakening, for the shift that the world was going to move through. And I just got full body chills. So what are the Indigo Children? Well, what they say is Indigo Children are starseed children who came to the planet from higher dimensions, who volunteered to help the shift in vibration that will take place in the years after. And what they say is that Indigo Children had this indigo colored aura, and that's why they were called Indigo Children. And some people talk about different characteristics of these kind of groups: the Crystal Children, the Indigo Children, the Rainbow Children. And I would love to start with the Rainbow Children, because they were the ones who came first, and they were the ones who actually came to break certain systems, to kind of rebel, not necessarily like really intentionally rebel against the system, but they just couldn't help but to rebel, because that was just their divine path to walk. So what this means, that a lot of these children, they were breaking the paradigm at that time. They were walking different paths than a lot of people were walking. And I know that a lot of you who were watching, you're exactly the same. You're those kind of people who don't necessarily fit into the mold of, society and what is normal or what is the standard. And so Indigo Children were those children who came to the planet to break the laws and not necessarily the laws. The unwritten laws, so not the actual laws, but to break the system, to break and change the way the system had formed in that time. Because the world had been suppressed for thousands and thousands of years, and the Indigo Children knew that before they came. And so their plan was to come to the planet and to change that. So what you're seeing in an Indigo child is that it has trouble to conform. It has trouble to, learn in a normal way, or to walk this path of career climbing. Indigo Children will do that in a certain way. They will probably do that within their families. They will do that on a larger scale as well, to just break the rules of how things are supposed to be, just because that's how people were conditioned of how things were supposed to be. And so Indigo Children are just the rebels. They're the rebels, and they're here, but at the same time they're very loving. You can imagine that these beings, they come from a higher frequency, a higher plane of dimension, a higher plane of existence. Now, what does this mean? It means that they come in a very different frequency, a different energy that will pave the way for the next movement. Because the next movement were the Crystal Children, the Crystalline Children. And the Crystalline Children, they often are born within families where one of the parents is an Indigo child. And the Crystalline Children, what they say, came around the year of the 1980s or the 1990s, I believe. And the Crystalline Children had very different energy than the Indigo Children. They were also here to assist the world in this shift, to assist the world in awakening into moving into a higher form of consciousness, the divine feminine, 5D consciousness. But what Crystal Children were different from the Indigo Children, because Crystal Children, they didn't have to be so rebellious anymore. Because that's the work that the Indigo Children already manifested. They helped to break the rules, to walk different paths, and to create some change within the norms and the molds that we were programmed into. And so the Crystal Children's mission was to nurture, to care, to heal. So what you will see different in the Crystalline Child is that it's more soft, it's more gentle. And yes, they will not fit into the mold. However, their mission is not to be rebelling. Their mission is to care for and nurture and to love. to unconditionally love. And they say that the crystalline children came from the 80s or early 90s until around 2010. And afterwards, the rainbow children came to the planet. Now, the rainbow children haven't been here for so long. So for the rainbow children, a lot less is known. And what I believe is that rainbow children are that form of unconditional love, because these waves that have come to the planet, these starseeds who came to the planet to assist within this awakening, have opened up and healed a lot of themselves, healed big parts of the world. And so the rainbow children came into families or into situations where there's a lot more balance. There is already a lot different change. The energy is already changed. And when you look at the different kind of chakras that we have, we see that we have the root chakra, then we have the sacral chakra, then we have our solar plexus, our heart chakra, throat chakra, our third eye, then our crown chakra. And all these chakras have different colors. What I believe is that when you look to those colors, it is actually a spectrum of light. And what happened was that when we came here to planet Earth, the light was literally scattered, and that's how these chakras were formed and kind of seen as separate energy centers. I do believe what we're going to experience, and this is speculation, okay? This is not grounded in truth or research or none of that. What I do believe is that eventually we will come into full integration of the light, and eventually we won't have separate energy centers anymore. That's what I believe. Not sure if this is true, but I think that these children, some come in without having any karma, without having any past lifetimes on our planet, and they are fully integrated. Maybe they won't even have chakras. I don't know. But I think it's very, very interesting to think about. And I also think that if you're listening, you might relate to some of those groups. You might relate to coming here with a certain mission, feeling like you don't really fit in, feeling like you don't really belong, you've never understood why. But I want you to know that there is a reason for everything. There is a reason why you didn't belong or didn't fit in. It was because you were born to stand out. You came here for a different mission. You came here to walk a different path. And maybe you're one of those children who came to the planet to assist in the shift that we're experiencing right now. Let me know in the comments how this video resonated with you, how this episode resonated with you. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from, because I'd love to get to know you. And if you're tuning in from YouTube, be sure to like this video, click that like button if you liked it, and share this video with anyone who you think could benefit from this message right now. If you're tuning in from Apple Podcasts or Spotify, be sure to give this podcast a 5-star review if you enjoy it. It literally takes a few seconds, and it would really, really help me and other people who need to hear information like this right now, who need to hear that they're not alone and that they're being supported on this mission of assisting the planet, assisting humanity and ourselves and our families to awaken. If you further want to support my channel, check out the Lightworker merchandise, which you can find in the link in the description below. Through wearing this merchandise, you will spread a message of awakening, of love, of light and positivity with the world, and you will help assist during the shift that we're going through as we speak. I think that this was really it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Literally from the bottom of my heart, it means so much to read all of your comments, to feel your connection, to feel that we're on this mission together. But for now, I'm tuning out. Keep shining, keep growing, and keep being your beautiful self. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.